Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the White Belt MMA podcast, and it's an absolute pleasure to have on the show today. MMA featherweight Connor Matthews, who's got the call up for the Dana White's Contender Series in August. So, hey, as a local Massachusetts guy too, man, it's an honor to have you on the show today. Obviously, especially seeing someone that's local, making it to the top and fighting for a spot in the UFC. So it's awesome to have you. And Connor, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Super excited. A lot of big things happening right now for my fight career. So, yeah, I'm super excited, just more motivated than ever. So thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, man, of course. And like we said at the start, man, you got the call up for the Dana White Contender Series. And again, man, you had a big win at CES, a couple months back. So did the call from the UFC come right after, or was it kind of one of those things that you knew that going into that fight, they're like, hey, if I have a good performance here, there's a shot that I'm gonna get a call from the UFC soon?
Yeah, I kind of knew with like a 5-0 record that, just when you start getting those opportunities, I knew Contender Series was starting this year, and I thought there was a good chance that I'd get the call up for that. My only concern is that my opponent level I've been fighting wasn't good enough, because I've been kind of having opponents that fall out on me last second, so they have to have a fill in, and so I'd have to fight somebody who I originally didn't even want to fight. I wanted to fight some better opponents, but yeah, I thought, I thought I was doing everything I could possibly do to get myself ready for the Contender Series. And, anybody they put in front of me, I was finishing in quick fashion, but I wanted, a little bit better opponents.
No, yeah, 100%. But hey, man, eventually you did get the call from the UFC. So, how did that, that call, go like for you, right? You get the call from them, right, saying that, hey, man, there's a matchup for the Contender Series in August, and are you gonna be ready to go? So, how did that feel? Who'd you tell, the moment right after you got the call from them, and yeah.
Yeah. So I got first of all, Jake Manini, my Muay Thai coach, and Tyson Chartier, who's my manager. They're out in Vegas for I believe it was Rob's fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was about to go off, and so they both FaceTime me from there. It's like, hey man, just want to let you know we got you in for the Contender Series. So I was outside my gym, standing outside my gym, so I was actually super stoked. And then I wanted to go in and just tell everybody, but they're like, don't tell anybody yet, because I don't know, originally I was supposed to tell people, but so I went in, and then I told a couple people. I hold it in. I was pretty stoked.
You're human. Supposed to have it.
Yeah. It was like because everything I've been working for, finally it's like, all right, now it's happening. You know what I mean? You kind of had to imagine it happening. Now you feel it's really going to happen now. And so it was cool. I'm super, super pumped.
No, yeah. And then, you mentioned it there, right? Tyson Chartier, he's, he's your manager, and also he's the head coach of, Rob Font and Calvin Kattar, and then Jake Manini, who also works with the New England Cartel and Rob Font and Calvin Kattar. So, again, how does it feel having them in your corner too, right? Because, I always see them, you post of you working with the team and all that, and, especially around the Northeast, man, they're the top guys. So you're getting some great work out there. So, how does it feel knowing they, they're in your corner?
It's awesome. Obviously, it's first of all, Jake Manini, my Muay Thai coach, he's been a huge, since I came home from the military, he's my number one coach. He's put the most effort into getting me better. So just working with him has been unreal. And then the cartel guys, he works, he's the coach for Calvin, he's the coach for Rob. So I saw it's, I'm so lucky that I get to work with those guys. You know what I mean? Just mentality wise, to see how they do stuff, how people are going to be at the top level, how they train, just kind of seeing it in person is, they're super professional and serious, and they have a plan with everything they do instead of just kind of training. You know what I mean? They are so they have an objective, and they accomplish it together. So it's really cool to see them do that. So, I just have good guys to look up to and try to follow in their footsteps, and if I can spar with those guys, work with those guys, and hang in with them, I know I can hang in with the top 10 guys in the UFC. So that's one of the other, best things about it.
No, yeah, and that's awesome, man. Have you been a part of Calvin's camp for this one? Because I know he's getting ready for the
yeah, I gave Calvin work one night. I think his first rounds back, I gave him some rounds for that. So yeah, Calvin hits hard, and he's a great boxer, man. So yeah, I'm excited for that fight coming up as well. So yeah, I helped out Calvin and helped out Rob a couple times for Jose Aldo.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So yeah, so just to bring it back to you, man, like I said off camera, man, this interview is gonna be a lot of getting to know about your story too, right? Because anybody I get on here, I love to know about how they get started into this, the sport of MMA. And some people they stumble upon it, other people they get through it through family or friends. So for you, like what was your story, man? What was your start, and get into combat sports in general?
So I started off in doing traditional martial arts when I was a kid. I loved karate. I did American Kempo, and I used to do point sparring. So that was like my passion when I was a kid. I played hockey and did that. And then obviously in high school and stuff, I kind of focused a little bit more on hockey, but I still would, jump back into this Lakeville MMA. Like in my summers, my time off when I wasn't playing hockey, I'd be at Lakeville MMA. So yeah, I think that's kind of like Lakeville MMA was like kind of like I went from traditional martial arts, kind of lost one of my gyms, went there because they kind of were a traditional martial arts gym originally, and then they kind of transitioned to an MMA gym, and I kind of grew up in that time. So I had my first fight back in 2011. So Sensei John Miranda and Lakeville kind of threw me in there. He's like, give me a fight. So that's how I found it. And then after that, I had my first fight. I was like, this is all I want to do. I love this stuff. You know what I mean? It's the best.
No, yeah, 100%. And you mentioned it there too, man. You played a little hockey at first, before, in between, like, obviously your starter like in traditional martial arts and MMA. So like for you was like, hockey, because for most people, right, any high school sport they play, they have dreams of playing in college, dreams of playing in the professional league. So was that ever the dream for you before, the MMA started?
Yeah, absolutely. I played hockey at a pretty high level. I went to a prep school. I played junior hockey. And so, yeah, that was when I was a kid, that's what I dreamed of, is being a professional hockey player and playing college hockey and stuff. And I don't know what happened. Like at my senior year, I took an injury at the last game of my playoff, and separated my shoulder. My shoulder's still pretty messed up, but I was like separated up here. So I separated my shoulder, and after that, I kind of like, I missed out the tryouts and all that stuff. So I kind of lost my whole wanted to play college hockey, play professional, and I started going back into martial arts because I was kind of dealing with my issues back then, and that's what kind of like I just got really addicted to martial arts off that, and I kind of just totally changed my trajectory. Lost the drive for hockey and picked up the drive for MMA.
No, yeah, and like you mentioned there, not thereafter you got your first MMA fight. So again, I mean, from going from hockey, from a sport that a lot of people watch, a lot of people see, obviously played in high school, and then for you like to go right into MMA and have your first fight short after. What was like the reactions around like your friends and families? But they're just like, "Hey, Connor, man, this is coming out of nowhere," or were they
Yeah.
just like, "We saw this coming. It was eventually supposed to happen."
I think my family kind of can see exactly how I loved competing as traditional martial arts, and they put us in a cage, and I was a really competitive kid with hockey and every other sport. So yeah, I think they could see exactly how, you know what I mean, I would get myself into MMA. Not that my mom and my dad were like the biggest fans of it at first, you know what I mean? They probably didn't see the career path it could be for me. So, but yeah, there's definitely family members, they don't really like it, the fact you fight in the cage or whatever. It's not good for your head, but they're probably right. But I love this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep doing as long as I can.
No, yeah, 100%. And what were the feelings like for that first fight, man? Because I can only imagine, right? Some people they crack under pressure for just a normal jiu-jitsu competition. So I can only imagine like full on fight in the cage.
I can honestly barely remember my first fight. I was so nervous. I was 18 and I was just a kid. And I remember just like almost blacking out, for the fight. I wasn't as much of a full rounded martial artist at that time. So it was like, I had my skill set. So yeah, I remember just crazy. But I remember after the fight being the happiest and like most amped up I've ever been. I was just on cloud 9. So
I mean, do you remember the celebration after that first one? After that?
Oh yeah. So I took the guy. I dropped the guys. I fight this guy Derek Story. He actually took me down in the first round and he was beating me up. Then we got back up to our feet, caught him, choked him out, and then celebrated, jumped up on the cage. So that was fun. It was in Boston. I was going to an MMA fight back in Boston. They haven't had MMA fights in Boston. They just recently had them, but they didn't have them there for a while. So That's so long. It was 2011. It was a while ago.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And you, like you said, man, you started your MMA career back in 2011, and obviously, I know that you listened into the military too as well, right? So, what brought the decision behind that too? Because I mean, like you said, I mean, you started your career in 2011, and most people, they stay on that path, but for you, what,
Yeah.
gave a good decision for you to listen to the military?
Well, I fought for like a year and a half, and I was doing construction while I was training to fight, and it was a grind, man. Working in the city, doing construction every single day, and then training at night. It's like really, really exhausting. And I feel like my training wasn't as good, so it kind of made me feel like, oh, I got to figure out something to do.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of what drove me into the military. So never lost my passion for training and everything, but I decided, I had to figure out what I need to do in my life. So I did 6 years as a combat controller in special operations. So it was awesome, a great job. Got really cool experiences, got to travel the world, got to do a lot of cool stuff. And then it also helped me like train, obviously, like the physical stuff and the mental stuff helped me with being a fighter now. So transitioning back when I decided to get out and start training again, transitioning back has been awesome. Like my mentality is totally different now, and I could just train. I don't know. I really found myself because of the job I did, and it helps me out with my fight career.
No, that's awesome. And then, like you mentioned it there, I mean, you're a combat flight controller. So is that where the nickname comes from, the controller?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So the controller MMA comes from being a Air Force combat controller.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, like you said, like, it's you being in the military, obviously, it helped your fight career, right? Obviously, like in the mental sides of things and everything like that too. So like right off the bat, you come back and you restart your MMA career, like for, especially with that newfound, improved mental aspect and like, that the military, like, put you through. So, how did that help you like eventually, coming back into the sport?
I like so like everything what I learned through in the military helped me because it's just the mental grit, I would say, just like and how to stay focused and being professional about everything. I mean, it could be a lot of it being a bit older and being more mature. You know what I mean? And then the other part's probably just what I learned through training. So yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah,
So like that, yeah, it's been awesome.
No, yeah, that's awesome, but that's awesome. So, you get back, right? And obviously, I saw that you had, was it, the three amateur fights on your like on your way back after coming back from the military.
Yep.
So
Yep.
how was that, getting back into the cage right after, right? Because obviously, like you said, you were nervous as crap in your first
Yeah,
fight, but how was that coming back, going back into the thick of things right after that?
it really wasn't like I realized it was a different calmness to me when I came back after my military fights. I remember getting in the cage and fighting Washington. I was like, it was just a different vibe than I had before the military. And I was working with a coach, Micah Brown out there. He was a really, really good Muay Thai striking coach. And my training partner, Carlos Lozoya, that's where I met him, is in Washington. So I was getting really good work for this, a couple amateur fights I had. And I just felt like even back then I was like steps above everybody. So it was fun. I was having a really good time fighting amateur. I got like a couple wins. I actually took a loss. I fought a kid named Jimmy Wilson, a really good wrestler. And I got super sick right before the fight. I was like, I had the flu that whole week, and I decided to fight anyways, just for like a title fight. And I just thought I could win even if I was sick, which is stupid. Now that I'll probably never do that ever now. So I was doing good in the first round, then one shot hit me and dropped me. So it was like, yeah, learn some lessons, you know what I mean, in the amateurs. And my whole mentality was fighting amateurs. I didn't really care because amateurs it all swipes clean when you go pro. So yeah, it was good to get back in there, and I felt more relaxed. And I moved back. Then I get to move back home to Massachusetts, and start my professional career.
Yeah, man. And you're training on Lauzon MMA, right? The best gym in Massachusetts when it comes to MMA. So how's it been, having Joe Lauzon in your corner too? I mean, a legend in the game, just, showing you the steps and yeah, just go up in your career.
It's been good, so coming back to training at Lauzon's, like every Saturday, they have so many fighters and pros that are just from other gyms, and they all come to Lauzon's to get sparring work. So that's been a huge, being that's your home gym and everybody comes to that gym. You know what I mean? You're always getting different looks from like different people, and So it got me a lot of exposure. So that was awesome. I would say, I mean, that's awesome. Jiu-jitsu wise, obviously I got a lot better. I started working with Danny Savory. He teaches at Lauzon's. He comes in there a couple times a week. So just really focusing with a good jiu-jitsu coach has helped me a ton. I feel like my jiu-jitsu got so much better the last like 2 years. And yeah, it's been really good, man. And I would say I've been training all over the place. I train at Hard Knocks Muay Thai, with obviously with Jake Manini. I trained up there a couple of nights. I go to SOS Skill Strength, Coach Mike Perry. I train in KO Boxing Gym in New Bedford, and I also train in my own gym, the Controller Proving Grounds.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. So yeah, man. So just to again, kind of bring it full circle, right? Because I saw in your post too that you actually, went up to Vegas. Actually just filmed some stuff for the Contender series. So how was that too, man? Can you just walking through those doors of the Apex and then the UFC headquarters, just knowing that the dream is there. All the work that you've worked for it's paying off. So how did that feel like?
Yeah, just exactly. It just felt like a step in the right direction. Like the things that I've been imagining, things how I want it to be, they're coming to reality. You know what I mean? So super excited. It was cool to meet the UFC staff, like a lot of the people behind the scenes, and everybody there in the UFC was like super, super nice and helpful and happy to be there and like, positive attitude. So that was really cool. So I'm excited to, get there and solidify it now. It's cool. That stuff's cool to me, but like, I'm not really happy until I have a UFC contract, and I'm working my way up there. Like I guess I don't want to be one of these guys who gets to the UFC and just is like, oh, I'm just happy I made it. I'm not happy for that. I want to be a staple fighter in the UFC and attack that top 10 ranking.
No, yeah, 100%, man. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait to see you fight in August. So, man, like I said at the start, man, I don't want to keep you for too long.
No.
So, I know you're a busy guy. So, right before we go, do you want to plug in all your social media so everyone watching can go and follow you?
Yeah, sure. So the Controller MMA is my Instagram. Probably use that the most for social media. I have a website, controllermma.com without the V before. So, you guys can go in there, check out my gym, check out any storylines, all that stuff, pictures, whatever. And I sell shirts there. I got this one on right now. I got a couple other ones. None of them are really around here right now, but yeah, a couple other good designs. So if anybody's interested in that, they can hop on there and get that. But that's about it, man.
No, yeah, 100%. So again, Connor, I appreciate the time. I can't wait to see kill it in August. So again, thanks for the time. Hopefully we can do it again in the future. And to everyone watching, peace.